She's a diva with a destiny, got purpose and zest, you see. Books, business, and accessories. She walks in favor and she's blessed indeed. She keeps her head and her heels high, and her limit soars beyond the sky. If it's purpose she's pushing, you've tuned in with Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free ya. Hey, hey. And if you're feeling down, come in. The enemy he's trapped won't win. For God has given you vision, and in the end you shall win. Yeah. Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free ya. Hey, hey. And if you're feeling down, come in.
So John has some enlightened information, and he's going to educate and share his experience as a father with a son with autism. So we are excited about that. So welcome to the platform, Mr. Singletary. How are you today?
We are doing great. Ain't that right, LJ? Say hey.
Hey, LJ. All right.
You are inviting us.
Absolutely, man. I'm so excited. So autism awareness is where we at this right now. So we're excited about that. So we're gonna jump right in. And so John Singletary, because I know you and we're family, I'm gonna just say John because I don't want to be slipping. But you on this platform, and we always have an icebreaker. So John, I have 3 words. I'm going to give you a word. You give me the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay.
LJ may answer. Who knows? Okay. So the first word, I will say endurance.
Woo, endurance, man. Grace.
Oh, I like that. It takes grace. Okay.
Hey.
What you say, LJ? You agree? All right, my nephew, you agree. All right. Second word is purpose.
Ooh, purpose. Passion.
Come on. Tailor-made. I love it. Fashion. That's right. I hear tailor-made when you said that. That's cool. And the last word, of course, my all-time favorite, everyone knows, it is destiny.
Destiny. Woo! Walking.
Ooh, I love it. Yes, walking.
Walk in it, but one word, to walk.
Yeah. I'm loving that, because in order for us to reach where we are destined to be, we've got to keep walking. We've got to not give up. We got to keep moving. Oh man, so I love that, and I always do the icebreaker because words are important, and so we have already given the instructions through the word of God. We are to speak life and not death, but we have a choice. So we know sometimes things arise, and we don't always like the results or the situation that we are facing. So sometimes we, as human, we do make mistakes and speak the wrong thing over a situation. So as I get younger, I am learning to frame my world with my words. So no matter what's going on, I am always pushing, ladies, gentlemen, girls or boys, frame your world with your words. If you say you can't, then you won't. If you believe that you can, then you will. So it's up to you. The choice is up to you. So you make the decision. So, okay, with that being said, we are going to roll right along. So I want you to share a little bit about who you are and that fine young man that is sitting next to you. Tell us who that is. I know he's one of my favorites, but I want you to tell the folks that don't know.
That's right. So I am John M. Singletary Sr. This is John M. Singletary Jr., awesome. Affectionately known as LJ. And so on the podcast, so we have a podcast called the Help Myself Podcast. And on the podcast, I always refer to him as my co-pilot. And so it tickles me to see people comment under the post like, "Tell the co-pilot I said hey," you know. He's a celebrity, but you know, we
yes you are.
Yeah, so we are two young fellas out here living the blessed life out here in DC. We're out here in Alexandria, Virginia. Air Force by trade, that's my day job, and internet personality by night. That's
Come on, man.
And I tell you what, when I'm honored to be on the show, especially, you know, autism and everything that you're doing. To be a parent is one thing. Your children just really push you to another level. But when I say, you know, he has shown me things about myself that I never thought that I could do, that I never possible, push me to heights. Like a lot of the things that are going on that I never imagined could happen, here they are. And it's because every day watching him, you know, we talk about, the challenges with autism and special needs, but this smile, that's a permanent thing. He approaches life that joy and with that. And if I look at my son approaching life with joy and happiness and courage, then I think I need to step up. So, you know.
Wow. I love that. Oh my God. You just a mouthful right there. As a parent, it is definitely an honor. It is an honor to be a parent. Like you said, they push you. And so I can agree with that because being very ill, majority of my daughter's childhood life with diabetes and then being diagnosed, then losing my sight, you know, going through things. And I would say, oh my God, you know, I'm not going to make it. I don't think I'm going to be here to see my children grow up. But as I got up every day and the smile, a lot of times when I could not see the smile, I remembered because I had to remember, you know, what I knew. And so with that, their smile made the difference. And so that pushed me because I was like, Lord, how can I be, you know, losing my sight? And I have two daughters to raise. They can't comb their hair. I've got to teach them this. I've got to show them this. And I remember just talking and just like really frustrated, angry, saying that. But what you said just now, it pushes you to new heights and make you do things you never thought you could do. And I totally. That is my walk. You agree with me, Auntie? You agree with your Auntie LJ? I hear you, man. That's right. That's right. So, man, you're right. The children, they will push you, man, to, you know, be your best person, be your best life, be your best self. So I agree totally.
Now, and what you talked about, your words framing your reality, that's a huge thing, you know. So when we talk about autism, a lot of people see that, it's special needs, or, you know, they look at the societal norms of special needs. Okay. But what LJ just brings a different perspective. He's an exceptional member of our family. You know, he's got superpowers, and you know that's some of the things that we've got to be mindful of, is that, you know, he brings something to the table. And so we frame our reality like, you know, we're out here in the world succeeding and winning, and we don't our attitude isn't, woe is us because of the situation we find ourselves in. We're excited about every opportunity to attack the day and its success, and, you know, live out our purpose and walk in our destiny. And, you know, we got big plans. We talking a big talk, so we got to walk.
Come on with it. I'm loving it. That's right.
Muhsinah, Latifah, backstage. So we're going to bring them on and get started with the show. So I need you. Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Outstanding, sis. Arthur Seth, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Miss Period. I'm doing good.
All right. Ooh, I feel like a queen. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. He got my name right. All right. Well, Mr. Seth, we're going to get started. And I've been telling the people on the platform that you're an amazing author. And I'm excited because I'm an author. You're an author. So guess what? We do some of the same things. We inspire people. Did you know that?
I know that too, Miss
You know,
Superior.
see, you're smarter than me. I should know you know that. This is awesome. So can you tell the people what is the title of your book?
Seth can do all things. Seth can do all things, Miss Superior. Seth can do all things.
Seth can do all things. I love that. And you know what? I believe that, Seth. I believe that. This is awesome. So did mommy and daddy tell you could do all things, or Seth just believes it? You just believe it because you're smart and you're strong.
Seth's going to believe you're strong. Okay.
Come on with it. That's what I'm talking about. You're smart.
That's what I help you.
I'm loving it. Well, we are here on the platform chatting about autism, living with autism. That's right. Autism Speaks, autism awareness. They are amazing individuals, and we all know that God makes no mistakes. He makes no mistakes. That's right. No mistakes. So Seth is perfect because he's created by God. Did you know you're a king? I'm a queen. Mommy's a queen, and you're a king.
Mom's king. Mom's a queen, and you're a king.
That's okay. Well, hey, I take it. I will take it. That's right. We are kings and queens. That's right. Awesome. Well, we got an icebreaker here, and I want Mom to help us with this. I'm going to give Mommy a couple of words, and we're going to figure this thing out. So, Mom, the icebreaker for tonight, I think the first word will be patience. Give me the first word that comes to your mind when you hear patience.
The promise. The promise.
Come on, Steph. Help her out. Awesome. Okay, second word for the icebreaker would be relentless.
Seth.
I'm loving it. Yes. The last word for the icebreaker would be empathy.
Empathy.
Ooh, my heart.
Hey, you got it. So you got it. So it was patience. What was your
Relentless.
word? Relentless and empathy. Yes. Yeah. And so we always do the icebreaker here at Table Talk. Why? Because words are important. So I know she said that every time, and I'm going to continue to say it every time.
Yeah.
Right. Words are important.
His dad just walked through. Well, his dad is about to walk through the door, so he hears his father. So now he's like, "My dad is about to walk through the door."
That's right. Well, tell Dad hello. Tell Dad hello and jump on YouTube.
Hello, Dad. Hello.
Say, Daddy, we're on a show. Oh no, that's not your dad. That's who? Who is that?
Anthony, we're at the show.
That's
Anthony,
his brother.
His big brothers. Yeah, you have a couple of big brothers, don't you?
How many brothers do you have?
Anthony, Matthew, Kai, and Cameron.
What Kai is your sister-in-law to be. So start over. You got Anthony, brothers.
Anthony,
okay.
Matthew,
Christopher, Cameron.
Okay. And then who's your sister-in-law?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a big family. You have 3 brothers and a sister-in-law to
have 4 brothers.
4 brothers.
Four
That's
brothers.
right, because you have that number of grace for God. That's right. All boys. And now God is blessing you with a daughter.
Yes.
Ooh, wow, that's amazing, and that's powerful in itself, honey. You look amazing with 5 boys and your husband, girl. You a bad girl.
I'm the only
That's
girl in here, I'm telling you.
Oh my God, that's why you're Dr. Latifah. Come on now. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna go on into the chatting. So Seth, I wanted to ask you, was it exciting writing your book? Did you have fun doing it?
Yes, it is, Miss Priya. What exciting reading your book, Miss Priya?
Okay. Can you show me your book?
Yes.
You go. You got. Well, let me just show this camera.
Seth can do all things, Miss Priya. Seth can do all things.
Seth can do all things. You've got to be so proud, Mom. Well, I'm proud of you, Seth. That is amazing.
I'm proud of you, Miss Priya. I'm so proud of you, Miss Priya.
You should be proud of Seth, because that means you work hard, you were consistent, you did a great job. I am super excited.
So can he read some of his book?
He sure can. Can you give us a little bit of your book?
You're going to read a little bit of your book to the people? Okay, let's just open it up. We're gonna open it up, and we're gonna talk about all the things that Seth can do. So I'm gonna show the people what he's reading.
I can read. I like books, and I read every day.
Come on.
Do you like to read? What is your favorite book?
So it's also an interactive book. So it asks questions of the reader. So not only will it tell you that you can read, but it will ask you questions. Do you like to read? And then what is your favorite book? So that young people who are reading it can have some interaction with, as if they're dialoguing with Seth along the way.
Wow, how awesome is that?
Let's read a couple of more things. What else can you do, Seth? Let's see. Oh, come on. What about that one? What do you do?
I can pray and give thanks. I love God and He loves me. Do you have a favorite prayer? I do. It's my God. I do. It's my good night prayer. It says, Dear God, thank you for today, and thank you for my family and my friends. I love you, God. Amen. I said this prayer every night. You can too.
Wow. Woo! Go Seth. I need y'all to give Seth a high five and some applaud. This is awesome. This is awesome. He already started out in the beginning letting us know that Seth can do all things. Then he just showed you that he can do it. He has the action behind his words. So catch it now, because he has written a book. He's reading. And so don't allow anybody to tell you what you can't do. So if you don't believe me and you don't believe, please believe Seth. Tell them the name of your book again, Seth, so they have heard you.
What's the name of your book?
All things. Tell them again.
Seth can do all things.
That's it. So I need you to tag, share, and like. I need you to pull up a chair at the table, because we're chatting about autism, children, adults that are living with people that are living with autism. And so they are very special individuals that we're going to get into another little conversation with Mom, but I don't want to hold Seth long. But I am so grateful. Is there something you'd like to share? Something else you'd like to tell me while we're on?
Where can people buy your book?
God, don't forget that.
Seth can do all things.
On where?
On Amazon.
Whoa, you have your book on Amazon. That's an offer. Check it out. So you can go, so they can go. So Mama, tell us what is the link for the book? What is it? How do we get on Amazon? Just put in what?
You can put in Seth Can Do All Things, or you can put in Seth Morris, and it'll pop up.
Right.
And so it's on paperback and on Kindle. The paperback is the interactive one. The Kindle one just has obviously just the digital text. But it also chronicles our story. But the reason why we really wrote the book was to make sure that people understood that even though autism is a label, it's not a limitation. And so Seth is proof to that. And just like God said in his word, we can do all things. So Seth can do all things through Christ who strengthens him. And you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So it's inspiration for everyone, not just people on the spectrum, but parents, children, and people around the world, just so that they can know to keep persevering, because in spite of it all, that is continuing to persevere.
Wow, this is great. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So you really need to get someone on. If you have anyone in your life that is living with this, I don't even want to say a challenge.
Who is living on the spectrum. And we all are in some capacity living on the spectrum. Everyone has their own set of unique challenges. And that's what makes us the human race. That's what makes us so beautiful. So I just say, autism is a spectrum, which means that you have very high functioning people who have abilities that are invisible to the eye. But there's still some challenges that they have in life. And then you have some who are very severe and incapacitated and need full-time support. Seth falls somewhere in the middle. There are some things that Seth really can do, and then there are some things where he has challenges. But we are working through them all, and he's learned so much and come so far. And we're just really proud of his journey. So he also has a national spot for autism awareness on Autism Speaks YouTube page. So you can go and watch it. It talks about developing your full potential. And we're both advocates. And what's the name of your group? What's the name of your organization? Seth's what?
Seth's group.
No. What's the name of it? What's the name of your group?
Seth Soldiers.
Right.
You got it. High five, Seth. Woo!
Oh, okay. He got it. They got a handshake. Come on, we got a handshake. Go.
Uh-oh. Come on. I'm learning. Go.
Do it again for me. Uh-oh, wait a minute.
I'm going to get it.
Snap.
All right.
All right. I'm loving this. This is what I'm talking about. Educate me. I love it. I love it.
We got a special beat.
So I know it. Tell me something that you enjoy doing, because I saw some pictures and I know you're a superstar on IG. What is one of the sports that you play?
What sports do you play?
I sports baseball.
There we go. Baseball.
I played baseball.
Yes.
Yeah, because I hear mom in the background. Mama's in the bleachers says, knock it out the park, Seth. She said, knock it out the park. I said, listen, mama, cheer it up.
Yeah. Open your legs, bend your knees, put the bat up.
That's right. That is awesome. Softball. How long have he been playing softball? How long have you been playing softball?
Since he was 7 or 8. Was it 7, 8?
He was about 6 years old.
Yeah, you were 7. Okay, you were 7.
7. That is. And Seth, how old are you now?
I'm 14 years old.
Wow, 14. Go, Seth. Woo! Uh-oh. I gotta get the handshake, man. 14 years old.
If Seth's gonna do anything, he's gonna give you a high five.
I love it. I have a godson, LJ, has been diagnosed with autism as well. And he's a looker. He loves to giggle. He loves to laugh, and he's very, very high spirited.
Say, I love to laugh.
I love to laugh.
So you like to laugh too, because LJ loves to laugh. But LJ loves music. Do you love music?
Yeah.
Does Seth love music? You do? All right.
Say, my mama makes me dance in the kitchen with her all the time.
All the time, Mom.
All the time.
That's a good thing. I love music. I'm always motivated by music. Yeah, it gets me going.
Yeah.
All through the day. Yes. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, Mom. So I wanted to ask you, I would probably say, can you share with the parent, some of the people that are watching, parents, grandparents, whoever the guardianship may be for a child, what were some of the signs that you detect that made you even take him to be even diagnosed?
Evaluated. So his speech never continued to develop. So Seth was an early reader. He does like to read, and he can read very well and has great fluency, but he wasn't actually using that language or capacity to be able to speak and have conversations. So it just stopped. It's like it just stagnated. So he would only remain in these 1 to 2 sentence fragments. And then, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, say bye.
You're ready to go? Well, thank you so much, Seth. All right. I thank you so much. And I'm going to buy your book. I'm going to buy your book. Okay?
Okay.
Absolutely. I've got to get your book for my granddaughter. Yes.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going downstairs to my computer. That's his
I heard that.
job. Okay.
You have a good night. What are some of the things that maybe you were able to reflect back and realize that now you see, the way you were growing up, maybe in some areas?
Certainly. One of the things was I took in too much information, and sometimes that would make me either jittery or hyperactive and things like that until I learned how to focus. And a lot of that focus was on reading and things like that, because masking is another part. You tend to take your cues from other people and the things they do, and you always feel like you don't have everybody has instructions that you feel that you're missing. Okay. And you always have to follow with everyone and you always seem to be a little bit behind.
Wow.
And that was something for me.
Okay. Wow. And I guess I can, when I reflect back with us growing up and so close together, because our dad are brothers. They both are deceased and in heaven, but so grateful for that. But just, I remember you being, to me, I thought you were the smartest kid and the smartest little boy. And I remember you playing in the band, and I think it was the Bells, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have certain, I don't want to sound like Rain Man, because a lot of times folks get stereotypes. They think that everyone is like that. You know, it's like if you meet one person on the spectrum, you've met exactly one person on the spectrum. Right. And my thing was seeing patterns. And that's what music was to me, just seeing the patterns and following through. And with school, my mom, oh boy, she spent many a nights. That was like a secret that I hid. I was also a touch of ADHD that was there, but those things weren't known at the time.
Right. My God. Yeah. And so just looking, judging from the outside, you were just smart and just Al, and wow. So,
Exactly.
he didn't know anything about that. No one that I knew was educated on autism. It was always been around, but the first person, like I said, was my godson, LJ, when my best friend, who is now in heaven, when she called me and we talked about it, and she said, wanted to find details, and began to try to just kind of research and see what's what, because I had never heard of it. So I really did not know. And people back then, of course, we would just say he might be a little touched, but ignorance, because we did not know.
Exactly.
We did not know. And so I always tell people there's no shame in not knowing something. If you don't know what you don't know, then, there's no shame in it. But there's so much information out there. You can do the research to find out a little bit. You don't have to be the expert, but you can find out where you understand there is nothing wrong with them. You all learn a little bit different. And
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then there were little physical things, like there were parts of my body like were really, really sensitive. Like I used to hear the tender scalp all the time. I didn't realize it until, like I said, my youngest, he's 23. He'll be graduating from college after this semester.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yeah. So my scalp was very tender. So like things like combing your hair, that was a torture session altogether.
Oh my God. Kidding me.
Yeah. And then like certain foods, my mom caught onto it real early.
Okay.
Certain food textures was it was like cardboard. Was not appealing. So she was able to help with a lot of that.
Wow. And now that you're saying this is some of the stuff that, of course, was detected even with LJ. He's nonverbal, but very smart and constantly just always teaching us. And it's like, wow, he's smart. He just can't verbalize it, but he has his ways where he, makes certain sound. And who is actually my producer and backstage listening, when I look at some of his reels and his TikToks and how he's relating, and like he says, I know when he wants, something to drink, or I know when he's ready to eat, and I know that, and he has his way that he's taught him, which is teaching us. And so he has his own unique way of letting you know what's wrong, or when his head is hurting. I remember he would just grab his hand and put it on his head and put his head like in her stomach. And she said he's having a migraine. And I was out in the world, but she was able to discern this thing and, detect all that's happening. So with your son, is it very similar, or did y'all notice?
We found out through, I was overseas in Okinawa, the Child Development Center was where we was at for daycare. Okay. And some concerns that I had was developmental as well. And it reflected to me that I was similar in the same manner.
Wow.
But it wasn't until the CDC, they noticed things because they have their own screening checklist to assist parents, especially in the military. You're just that busy. You're with your child every day. So there are little things that you just may not notice.
Makes sense.
And so when they started doing the initial test, then they informed us, and then we had my nickname from him is Birdie. So we had Birdie go through the test and everything. Yeah, I know. He was Birdie, I was Falcon. It was funny. So once they went through the test and he was diagnosed, they got an individual education plan for us, and we were off and running. And how I found out a little while later, they asked me to participate in like surveys and testing, because autism, just like you were saying, when we were younger, in our generation, there wasn't a lot of awareness, a lot of studies and things like that. Now that there's more awareness, they asked me to participate in the study, and that's when I found out, mid-30s, that I was undiagnosed on the spectrum.
Okay. Wow. So your son was diagnosed pretty early. So,
yes, he was like 2 going on 3.
So that's really good. And I was told, and I understood just from, again, watching my nephew, the sooner the better. The early it's detected, the quicker you can start getting some help, and they, develop and doing a lot of things.
Correct.
Yeah. And I had two neighbors years ago, and one little boy, he was fascinated with dinosaurs. He could tell anybody every type of dinosaur there is, the nature of what they do, every single name, and it would just blow my mind. We could be walking the kids to the bus stop, and he's walking and he's telling you the names of the dinosaurs, and this one doesn't like this one. He knew every single thing. It would blow my mind. And I was like, what? And his mom said just something he's fascinated with. And with him having autism, this is what it's like, that makes him comfortable. He's just like complete with doing that, talking about it. And my other neighbor was Michael Jackson. Everything about Michael Jackson. And him and my husband would crack up at him. He could drive, he'd come through the gate and he said, Matthew, what's Michael Jackson's song that he did in 1970? Just beat it in. And it took this many times, the taping, and then he rolled it off like, and you would think like somebody is there holding the sheet of paper, telling him word for word. He knew everything about Michael Jackson, every song, every video, when it was. And it would just blow me away. And I said, my God. But again, so clearly you're not special. You're not retarded. You are very intelligent.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart. Like, yeah. So those were like first encounters. And so I'm so glad, because I had no idea, not that you would just be broadcasting it, but I was so glad when it was brought to my attention. It's like, you might want to chat with you guys. And I was like, absolutely, because it enlightened us some more, honey. And we welcome the information. I'm always willing to learn. And I have no problem saying, honey, I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know something. So thank you for that. But some of the, I guess I said, how do you deal with it? Now, is this hereditary? Do they believe where you're concerned?
Yes.
From you?
Yes. Because right now with the research, that no one really knows how or why, but it's been around for a long time.
Right.
So, and just now, like, when I say just now, I'll say within the last little over 100 years of research and documentation, because you have to really observe and capture it. And because it's a spectrum, not everyone experiences the same thing. We process information differently.
Right.
That's the big thing, because like I said, with myself, and one of the most misunderstood something, just because you are functional, what that really means is it's less problems for the people that you deal with, but you still have to deal with it yourself. And it becomes very exhausting. With me, because I was in the military, what helped was a lot of the repetition. That was number one. And two, with the Marine Corps in particular, there's an order for everything, to include eating and going to the bathroom. There's an order for everything. And it's just a matter of reading it, the orders, and following through. So that was also not a problem for me. And like I said, my thing was finding patterns. I was in maintenance logistics. So combing through a lot of reports, I could see discrepancies, find them, and make the appropriate action. So I was, it took care of me. It kept me out of a lot of trouble and things like that. That makes sense.
That makes sense. That's good. Wow.
Yeah. But still, I had to recovering was real problematic, and it really put my family through its paces because sometimes I needed to decompress, be away from everyone because being the master sergeant takes a lot out of you, and it's a script to it. And so a protocol, so you knew what to do and how to act, but that wasn't you. And then you just have to decompose. And it's like I said, when I say masking, bear with me, but the best way I can describe it so folks can understand it, let's say the best way to fit in to any group that you're in, this is going to sound weird. Let's say you have to stand on your toes.
Okay.
And let's say this is like a 12-hour workday. You have to stand on your toes to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized. You're standing on your toes. And if you've ever stand on toes, or women know it more than I do, with heels,
yes,
it's tiring. It's fatiguing. Absolutely. It's like that mentally, and it just get worn out. It just wears you down.
Wow.
And the worst part about it is like when you mask for too long, you kind of get lost, and it's real hard to come back from it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and the worst part is not to beleaguer this too long, but when you're unresponsive. There was an incident with Birdie when he was like 4.
Okay.
We were picking him up, and he was bitten by a wasp. We didn't know he was bitten by a wasp on his back. His back is really sensitive.
Right.
Earlier in the day, he had fell. He had skinned his knee. You know, and they just had a little minor incident report letting us know, you know, if anything happened to your kid, like you drop him off, and he comes home with a Band-Aid. They have lots of documentation telling you what happened.
Right.
They thought his leg was further bothering him because he just started screaming uncontrollably. And we didn't know, and he like shut down, and he was nonverbal, and that, as you know from experience, is really scary.
It is scary.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Oh man, that was like the best analogy, which was very powerful. If you can imagine walking around on your toes, like you said, women in heels. Yes, that is. Yeah. I'm like almost over it at this age. I'm just like, look, honey. So my husband was like a week ago. Look here, if I don't put on another high heel, baby, I've done that. I'm over it, honey. So if I'm gonna put my flats on, be okay. I'm sorry. If it ain't sexy enough, I'm so sorry, but you can do it. I'm over the high heels. I saw Mary on a reel this morning. She said, I got my makeup done. She said, but I'm over it. I don't want no makeup on, these little eyelashes on. She said, all this stuff getting on my nerves. I've been wearing this my whole career. I'm over it. So I could relate, not to the makeup part, but just, you know, when it's like, but yeah, when you talked about that analogy with the high heels and on your toes, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. So just my heart just kind of flooded when you were just talking about that. And so as you're saying, you're having a mask. So when you go home.
Yeah, it's like be another person. You have to
that part.
Come home and deal with everyone, and it's coming down from that.
It's coming down.
Wow. Yeah, it's really hard, especially for the people close to you who really know you.
Right.
And you're trying to be, you know, yourself. So I had to make a decree early on in my career. You know, the Marine wasn't allowed in my house, and Saul Washington wasn't allowed at work.
Come on.
That's how I had to
take it off. That's right. Take the hat off and leave it there. Here, look here, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Love you much. Thank you, cousin. All right. This has been phenomenal. Oh my God, this has been amazing, breathtaking. I enjoyed the information that he shared. Please go back and listen to the replay if you missed any, and if you have someone that you really care about that is dealing with autism, or even if you may have seen some signs and they may not have been properly diagnosed, you might want to tell them, take a look at this episode, and just maybe there's something that will jog the memory that calls and say, well, you know, I am dealing with such and such, or my kid or my grandbaby or somebody that I know is challenged in this particular area, and we may need to get them, you know, diagnosed. We need to have them go to the doctor and let's get checked out. So information is power. I am so elated for your time, your support, and tuning in tonight.
She's a diva with a destiny.
At what cost?
Got purpose and zest, you see. Books, business, and accessories. She walks in favor and she's blessed indeed. She keeps her head and her heels high, and her limit soars beyond the sky. If it's purpose she's pushing, you've tuned in with Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free ya. Hey, hey. And if you're feeling down, come in. The enemy he's trapped won't win. For God has given you vision, and in the end you shall win. Hey. Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free ya. Hey, hey.